Hey there, and welcome back to the Wirex Podcast. In this episode, we're tackling a big one, crypto hacks, and what they teach us about reacting fast, staying secure, and building real trust in this space. Joining us is Lex Fisun, CEO and co-founder of Global Ledger. Lex has seen it all when it comes to blockchain risk, and today he's sharing what really goes on behind the scenes when things go wrong and how to stay one step ahead. Welcome, Lex.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really excited to have you here. Perhaps we could start with your professional background.
Yeah, look, I'm in crypto maybe like from 2013. From the early days, maybe like I had some friends and some people that maybe when introduced us, me, my team to law enforcement. And this is how we co-founded Global Ledger, started investigations, and then developed it into a compliance tool, an investigation tool that is used now by law enforcement, by banks, by governments, by United Nations Office of Drug Control and Crime, by European law enforcement, intelligence agencies, and many, many different entities around the world. The first introduction, though, was funny. I got introduced maybe to the first law enforcement back in 2013. And at that point, it was the guy that I knew, and he was working in special units. They've been chasing darknet guys, and they seized darknet marketplace, and there was some mining equipment there inside. And when when they came to me, they said, "Look, we don't know what it is, but people say it's downloading money from the internet." And this was, I think, the first and the best explanation of crypto mining I've ever heard. And from that, I got really interested. I learned a lot, and yeah, here we are right now. 100 people at Global Ledger, hundreds of investigations, more than 300 clients.
Wow, that's just amazing. So, let's get down to it, right? What's the first thing that typically goes wrong in a major crypto hack? Is it always code or sometimes people?
So I would say the code by number of hacks. I mean, if we say about major hacks, which is basically business hacks, not like a personal hacks. The code maybe is the majority of the incidents, but it accounts maybe for like 12-50% of money if we use the data of last year and this year. The biggest by money, especially this year, is what we call a bad hire. What I mean is like sometimes a person gets angry and it plants a part of the code, or just directly steals the money. Sometimes it's, I know, North Korean hackers are hiring person into your company. They get hired. And this is what happened in a few major hacks this and last year. And sometimes it's just private key compromise. Normally, it also involves people. There was an interesting case where it was crypto exchange. They got hacked a couple of years ago, and no one suspected. Like everyone is thinking, like, okay, it's a developer maybe planted some code or something. Like, how does private key get compromised? And the CEO is like, no, the private key is in the safe. It wasn't a safe. Like, no one had access to that. And who was really doing interesting things is the office manager, because she was clicking repeat last operation on a printer in the office every time CEO printed something. And one time it was private key. So yeah, so private key compromise also happens because of people, I would say. Yeah, but these three things, like private key compromise, the code, or like a contract exploit, or things like that, and the bad hire. These are three major reasons. And by amount of money, the later two would be the biggest ones.
Wow, I think, I can't believe it. Like just from a printout, right? Like and something as easy as that, we really need to be more vigilant with our surroundings and what we do. How realistic is it to detect and respond to a hack within 10 minutes? I mean, is that even possible?
Yeah. It is maybe not possible, but it is necessary. And there's even like you probably don't even have 10 minutes that we can say, all the hacker needs is one block, and different blockchains. In Bitcoin, it's 10 minutes, but in many blockchains, it's way, way less than that. And a few things that you should know, right? In this year, we analyzed maybe about 120 major hacks. And in half of them, the hack was fully laundered before it was publicly disclosed. So no, sorry, not half, quarter of them was fully laundered, fully cashed out before it was publicly disclosed. So it was I mean, in general, money starting moving on average the same day as like maybe in 80% of hacks, they start moving the same day. People report hacks only in 80%. So maybe like 15-20% times people do not report hacks at all. They are silent. In this case, they have lowest probability ever to return funds. And um, yeah, let me check the notes. We
Then
can edit that as
why do you think that is though? Like when people don't report the hacks, do you think it's out of embarrassment that they got hacked or?
Look, I think in general it could be shock. Then it could be that uh, people don't want to scare their own users.
Mhm.
They don't want to scare the regulator. I mean, the regulatory action comes often after major incidents. I mean, it's kind of normal even if you say if the bank gets hacked, right? The government doesn't want people to lose money, and the economy and the businesses that were dependent on the bank to stop. So the regulator takes action, bailing out, whatever. I mean, with crypto exchanges, no one been bailing out them so far, except for the other crypto businesses. But the regulatory actions, may even involve revoking a license or things like that. So yeah, people are scary about all these things, and sometimes they just don't know that something happened, especially if the amount is not critically large. And yeah, so these are the main reasons. But the thing is, what I'm having in my notes is that 68% of all hacks moved funds faster than they were publicly reported. So you have to be faster than the hacker in that sense. So there are two sides to that. So first is your response, like how fast you go to the police, how fast you go to the global ledger to report. We also have the infrastructure to spread this information, even with other blockchain providers. So the whole industry is notified that these money are not for exchange. These money are not compliant now. Like these money are for blocking. These money will be traced by law enforcement. And also there is the industry response, like how fast the blockchain Bix tool works to notify their clients, that they might have received a deposit with tainted funds. And with this, you have to be really fast. Like you don't want to freeze liquidity, right? But you have to know that the funds are tainted the moment they are deposited. Like you can have the biggest database in the world of many wallets labeled, but if it's not fast enough to tell you that this hack happened 10 minutes ago, then this database may be useless. I mean, if you guys at Wirex might receive an alert that 2 weeks ago someone laundered funds or hacked funds deposited to your platform, that's already useless to you. Probably the person already spent the money. So the blockchain analytics should be fast, but also the person or a company who get hacked should be really fast in terms of notifying everyone that this happens, and this increases the probability of returning funds significantly.
So, and we kind of touched a little bit on this. Why do some platforms actually go silent after a hack and while others, just over communicate, right? And what do you think? Which is worse?
I think over communicating is better. I think the Bybit case, for example, is way better than many other in that sense, because the over communicating not only fast enough to notify people about the hack that has happened, but also sometimes when these communications go for a long time, it also reminds people. The full money laundering cycle on average this and last year took about 29 days on average. So, and especially, I think it's also related to Bybit case. I mean, when the amount is that big, when it's 1.5 billion, it's not that easy to even using mixers and everything to cash it out. It's not that easy. And because the liquidity needs to be there. And you have to communicate the whole cycle. Right? Because if people forgot about your hack tomorrow, maybe the compliance officer will be less vigilant, maybe regulator will be less vigilant, maybe law enforcement will get some new cases that they might think have high probability because they are more recent, or many things can take attention from your case. So long-term over communication is better, and it has higher probability of returning funds. That's what we see in many of our cases as well. I mean, some of our cases are still on monitoring from 2014, and we're still returning some funds. I mean, sometimes it's even crazy. Sometimes we can get a message from an exchange and saying, "Hey, yeah, we blocked the case that you guys been communicating in this private channel that we had 2 years ago." Great, client is happy, everything is great, but communicating things for a long period of time, so you get into the attention window, you get into the memory even, is really important.
Yeah, and I suppose, over communicating could also build trust, right, with the users or, the clients, so to speak. And, what's the most overlooked setting or habit that puts users at risk? And how can we fix it in 30 seconds?
To be honest, I think it is really important to learn about how crypto works. And this is, I mean, I've done it out of curiosity. It can be as a habit because there are many, many new things you can learn. I'll give you an example. Like back in the day when I probably got offered, I had marketing agency back in the day, in 2014. And the first I got offered, like, can we pay you in crypto? And the contract was not small. So I was like, what is this? Is it really safe? And I wrote the program to check it out. So the first thing I learned about the crypto safety, the first thing is that in crypto, your sort of account name, right, your public key, in the sense like your email, is generated from your password. So it is not like you can change the password, like you can change your password for the email. Like your email is generated from your password. Your wallet address is generated from your private key or from your seed phrase. And then I was like, wait a minute. Then that means I can try different passwords, see if the generated wallets have any money. And then I can steal random people money, and then people can do that to me as well. So that seems really unsafe, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wrote a program to test it out. So it would generate random passwords, and not to steal from random people, I put these zombie wallets in a list. And it would be just easier. So yeah, I'm not checking every wallet balance. That would be very slow. So I have a list of zombie wallets, and it would just, is this wallet that I'm generating is one of the zombie wallets. So it was like maybe 20,000 of these wallets from like 2011 that have money, and never moved them after that. So I tried this, and the program was pretty serious. It was running on a GPU. It was doing 17 million passwords and wallets generating per second. So
Wow.
I left it. I left this PC for a month in my garage, and it was trillions of wallets already. Like it was generating, and no money found, no zombie wallets. I'm not rich. I'm like, why? I mean, on paper, technology worked that way, right? So your password is generating your wallet, and then um, I've changed the program to check the probability. Like, what's my probability of like guessing one of these zombie wallets? And after another month, it said to me, in order to have 0.1% probability to guess one of these zombie wallets, you need to run this for 100 million years. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty safe. That's that's pretty safe. But there's so many options, like there's so many variants of the wallets that could be generated. So it's more than the sand in the universe. So it's just because there's so many of them, if it's truly random how you generate the wallet, you're pretty safe. But what people uh, don't know, maybe, that the wallet has to be very, very random. And the wallet, the software, the hardware wallet you use, anything you use, the most important thing that you have to know is that the wallet that is generated there should be very, very random. And it has to be proven some way by the wallet provider. Because at some point in time in Bitcoin, there was this thing popular called brain wallets, where you can generate a wallet not from the seed phrase, but from any phrase. Like, I don't know, and people were generating it from a phrase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or there was one guy apparently that got hacked, and he was surprised that people guessed his password. It was just a space, like the space button, with just the one
Oh,
symbol. And he had 140 BTC that wallet at some point.
oh wow.
So you can Google like a hacked brain wallets, and you understand that people did that a lot and they lost a lot of money. And then some people in forums, they even had to guess, like, you know um, how good these hackers are. So they're trying to generate wallets with like songs in them, with phrases from the Bible and things like that, and they get hacked anyway. But it was a very crazy experiment back in the day. So in that sense, like, when people say be your own bank, that implies also being your own compliance and being your own security manager. So learning about compliance, learning about security is a very important thing. If you want to be a self custody, and you have to know what you are doing.
I'm so glad you kind of brought that up, like being your own bank, you've got to know compliance and security as well, because people don't really think of those things, right? And, and
Yeah.
speaking of wallets, and speaking of hardware wallets, are hardware wallets really safe from all these types of attacks, or is that just a myth?
But if you take like popular hardware wallets, like, I don't know, like Ledger, Trezor, whatever, I mean, these are pretty random and pretty safe from I don't know, this guessing attack, or I don't know, code implanting or anything like that. Even physical access to this wallet, sometimes there's no guarantee that the hacker will be able to steal the money. However, they are vulnerable to other things. For example, kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, a person can be kidnapped, can be tortured. Uh, the cases that we investigated in that sense are not very pleasant to see. So it is very important, like, if you are also like your self custody and things like that, just so people know you have crypto is already a problem for you. Might be, there are people that are trying to watch this and trying to do some stuff about that. However, there are interesting cases as well. Like, we had a kidnapping case.
Yeah, I'd
And
love to share more about that.
yeah, yeah. And so a business partner of a crypto exchange got stolen, got kidnapped, and the kidnappers, they sending photos of him bitten, tortured, not very pleasant. And then the another business partner decides to pay the ransom, and we are tracing the ransom with the police, and then almost immediately block it in one of the major exchanges after the guy released. And while we're blocking it's kind of understandable that the money already being cashed out, because the account that received the money is typical OTC account, like a crypto to cash guy. And you don't normally see it, but because the numbers are very round, I mean, like 25K, 50K, 100K, transactions. Most of them are stable coins and things like that. So we got contacted by this guy after the police freezes the funds, and he's like, "Look, it's my business. I'm, interested. I will collaborate. I'm not enabling anything of that. Let's think what I can do for you." And he sent a video of the camera from his office where people came for cash. And the funny part was that the kidnapping guys came with the victim, and they acted like friends, like they just had a very cool hustle, and they were telling funny stories, like, "Yeah, we've done it, super cool, like, let's celebrate." Yeah,
Wow.
that was interesting. Yeah, so with that video, definitely police was able to take action on the whole setup. Yeah, but it's not like that sometimes, sometimes even you don't have crypto, but like we had a case where politician family member was stolen and was kidnapped, and the man was in crypto, so they had to learn how to buy it and things like that pretty quickly.
Wow. And while we're on this, what's the most bizarre case you've ever worked on? Is there any? Or the most interesting case maybe? Only if you can tell us, obviously.
Well, there are so many of them, and I had so many bizarre cases I already told you.
I feel like you could
There
write a book.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, yeah. I think what I can tell you, maybe it's not the most bizarre, but it was one of our first cases with German police, where we've done the first demixing. You probably heard that mixing is, kind of makes hackers safe from tracing, and it makes you very private and things like that. And that was one of our first very, very successful demixing case, because an exchange got hacked. The amount was pretty big. And the money were immediately split into very, very small pieces, like 0.1 BTC. And they were sent directly to Wasabi wallet. And then, it's very hard because everyone is sending 0.1 BTC to Wasabi wallet. There's no way you tell that, normally there is no way you tell where the money going. And if you try to analyze, where the money went out, the time span of that amount was splitting into 0.1 BTC was so long, there would be like 10,000 wallets that were involved on the outgoing side from Wasabi wallet at that time. So and we've sort of cracked the code of that mixing algorithm, and we've written a program that would trace funds through it, and we narrowed down the 10,000 options to just 3. So the program doesn't tell you that it's 100% probability this one, but it says it is only probable that it's only one of these 3. So it's a little bit probabilistic, but it gives a police very nice hint, where to go and things like that. And interestingly enough, one of the options led us to a Coinbase wallet where funds were deposited, and then police requested the KYC for that wallet, and the guy was the developer from that exchange that was fired 2 months ago. So, and later investigation showed that in his last months of working, he planted the code to steal the money. Yeah, so that was interesting.
Wow, what a case. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, right out of a movie, right? And I'm surprised. Have you been asked at all by Netflix or any of these major studios to come up with stories um, on these kind of hacks?
We're talking about like scouts and ICOs, the whole another
I know.
topic to talk about. Like, what's your favorite coin?
Most.
Do you have your like favorite coin?
Pardon?
Do you have like your favorite coin maybe in crypto? Like it's
Yeah,
the funniest one or something?
well, maybe Bitcoin, I guess,
My favorite is Jesus coin. Have you heard about Jesus coin?
No, I haven't.
I think it's the funniest ICO that was there. I mean, the website is down now, but back in like I think like it was 2017 or something, there was Jesus coin, and they were like, so there was a website and there was a ICO, and put your money, you receive Jesus coin, and if you put this coin into a wallet, the rest of the coins will grow. That was the promise, and there was a team section on the website where they had like a CEO, Jesus Christ. The customer support was Donkey, and the trustee was Judah Iscariot. So the one who betrayed.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite one. Yeah.
So, what technologies or protocols are showing real promise at the moment in stopping hacks before they happen?
Aside from Global Ledger, because that's our main work, I mean, I think interestingly enough, I think in like smart contract exploit space, I can give shout out to guys from Hypernative, because these guys can tell you that you're going to be hacked before the hack has happened. I think it's a kind of a magic
Oh, wow.
there. Yeah, it works like, I mean, what I call it is maybe I'm totally wrong with the presentation, but like this is my analogy, and it works like an antivirus crypto,
Right.
because it detects the same pattern of a smart contract interactions that hackers do, and then it tells you that someone does that to your smart contract, so you can maybe turn it off
Right.
for now or something like that. Yeah,
So that's kind of like almost like a malware bites, but for crypto, right? Like in a sense? Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think for DeFi, that's invaluable, really. I mean, we have many, like many things we do together with Hypernative guys, and I mean, I like their technology in that sense very much.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And well, I mean, I guess the only setback is then you'll have to be responsible in running those scans, right? And from your side, right? Because
Yeah.
well, I don't know how it works, but so another question is, do you think could AI play a bigger role in, future real-time threat detection in Web3?
Yeah, I mean, I think is a very, very important technology in threat detection and in compliance in general. As we said, there are two sides, right? There's a side of your response, but there's a side of industry response. If the industry is very responsible, if they detect the money hacked very fast, you will be pleased, for example, if you get hacked and some exchange blocked funds and contacted you, say, look, we have that, just come with a court order and take it out. So, but there are things that AI will not do, I can say. AI, there will not be like ChatGPT for compliance. Either people, I mean, many people and some of our competitors, they do that. But this is crazy. Like if you have, imagine you have like 10,000 transactions a day. That might be hundreds of alerts a day. And imagine like you have 500 alerts, and for each alert, you like look this prompt going in like, hey, here's the 3 bullet points why this alert is important to you. Like no, that's BS. So no prompts. I think like asking questions and things like that, the LLMs are still hallucinating, and probably there's no way they will stop completely hallucinating, and especially in like edge cases anytime soon. So compliance is too responsible, to think that they can afford hallucinations in that sense. And also, AI will not substitute the compliance officer in a sense, because AI cannot go to jail. It can be responsible if something goes very wrong. Like if you launder like a ton of funds and you go into a sanction list, you cannot say, oh, I was compliance GPT, whatever, responsible for that. No, it's not that way. You cannot receive a license because you have AI compliance officer or something like that. No, that's not gonna work, and it will not gonna work anytime soon. However, what AI can do really is to reduce time spent, reduce workload on compliance officers. Like we have clients that have like 200,000 transactions a day, 300,000 transactions a day. That might be like 10,000 alerts. Medium risk, high risk, whatever, but might be a huge number of alerts. You need to sort out these alerts pretty quickly in order to respond to cybercrime, but also just, not to freeze liquidity for your clients, make them happy. And with that, I mean, AI in the jail side, AI does pre-investigation, and it sorts alerts in a way, and it helps you to resolve you in a bulk, which is the most important first, create tickets for the compliance team and things like that. So you reduce time spent per alert. You don't wait for the prompt to type in, but you say, oh, these 100 alerts are the same. And, they're all very direct, very risky. Open tickets for enhanced due diligence for them, things like that. So you would sort out 10,000 alerts in a few clicks, and then the team will pick them out and things like that. So AI can drastically reduce the costs of compliance and improve the speed of compliance, and make the industry side being able to respond in a smaller time frame.
Right. Wow. I mean, I suppose there's still a long way more to go, right? For AI to be fully integrated, and because as you say, they're still hallucinating. And that's a wrap. Lex, a big thank you for the great chat and for breaking down what most of us don't see when a hack happens.
Thanks for having me. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, I really loved the conversation. It was so insightful. If you enjoyed this one, share it, leave a quick review, or hit follow so you don't miss what's next. Until then, stay safe, stay smart, and stay curious.